Going over the box, you can see it has some claw marks on it. You can also see that it says A&K on it. Just your pretty normal standard AEG box. It goes over on the sides what it has, what the new ACR/Masada includes, and just basically what you're going to find inside the box. Now, opening the box reveals some foaming on the top, which is covering the gun. That is always nice to see more foam added. At least we know the gun is secured. Removing the foam reveals the gun. Now let's hop into the contents of the box. Starting with the contents of the box, we have a pack of BBs here. There is no identification of what they are. They're possibly just A&K 0.20 gram BBs. Next, we have the handguard, nice and firm in the foam. Very important part of your gun. This will be your battery storage essentially. Next, you have a high cap magazine, which really stinks that it is a high cap because I really do like this style of magazine. Kind of reminds me of the PMag. Next, moving on, we have the rear iron sight. The problem with this rear iron sight was mine was super stiff. Even after removing the security flip, it still would not flip up. It was very stiff. I did eventually get it open. Next, you have the tools that will adjust your hop up, and one of the most important parts of this gun, which is the body pin. This will hold your handguard in place so that it stays secured to the gun. And then overall, you have the gun itself. To get the handguard on properly, make sure that the metal clip is pushed up to the barrel. If it's pushed down, it will block the handguard from being put on. Make sure the wiring is secured to the barrel as well, so that way you don't risk pinching any wires. Slide the handguard down, and the holes on the handguard should become flush with the hole on the body. Once those are flush, go ahead and push your body pin through. Now, I did run into some problems with the body pin. When the body pin is brand new and you're trying to put this handguard on, there is an issue where the body pin does not go through. It's stiff, it's brand new, and you have to basically grind the metal to get it through. I don't know if this was just my model or if that's just how it's made. I ended up having to actually hammer the body pin in, and then I had to hammer it out as well with a screwdriver. Ultimately, I had to do this like 5 or 6 times for it to start sliding in and out. Even then, when I want to pull the pin out, I still have to take a screwdriver to the other side and kind of tap it out. So just be wary of that. It is very stiff. I'm not sure why the design was made that way, but it is what it is. So moving down the gun here, we have your standard orange flash hider, a metal outer barrel, your polymer handguard, which we just pinned together, and you have an integrated metal flip-up iron sight with the push of a pin flips up and easily drops down once you push the pin back in. To access the hop-up for this gun, you do have to pull the charging handle at an exact angle, otherwise it will feel like it's stuck. If I do remember correctly, this did plague the old Masadas as well. Even getting it pulled back, as you can see, I did not get it pulled all the way back. This does have a functioning bolt release, but you can get to your hop-up, and the hop-up is almost like an AK style hop-up where you just slide it up and down to adjust the hop-up. The hop-up, you just simply slide up and down to adjust. It is still a see-through plastic hop-up, but it is definitely better than the old style hop-up that we had. As I said, unfortunately, the charging handle does get stuck, but when you are able to get it open, you can access the hop-up. This really sucks if you're like in a hurry in the middle of a game and you're trying to do it real quick and this happens, but ultimately, like I said, it does have a functioning bolt release. You do have an ambidextrous select fire switch, which is very janky and clanky and doesn't really click into place. I've gotten it stuck between safe and semi, as you've seen here in the video. I've even got it stuck between semi and full auto. So if I remember correctly, this plagued the old Masadas as well, and it seems like the issue still has not been fixed. Again, this is a manufacturer issue, not so much as an Evike issue. You do have a folding stock, which is super nice for if you're getting in and out of vehicles or you're just wanting to keep it compact or carry it somewhere. And the stock has a tube inside that you can hold maybe an extra battery or something, maybe your Slim Jims, I don't know whatever your vibe is, but it does have that as well, which is always a cool feature. So when I'm loading a magazine into the gun, I did realize there is no signal, there's no click, there's no identification to tell me that the magazine is secured in the gun. I kind of just push it in and it locks in, but again, I don't even know if it's locked in. It's kind of nerve-wracking when I pull the gun up to a vertical position because, again, the magazine could just fall out. It's not clicking. And when I push the mag release, it's just very loose. Going over the different mag brands that fit, I did try an old style green label P-Mag. It did not fit, which is weird because those originally fit in the old style Masadas. That did not fit. Next, I tried a SEMA mid-cap, which comes with your SEMA guns, SEMA Platinum guns, and that one did clicked in pretty well. There was hardly any wobble, it was nice and firm. I had to pull it out of the gun, didn't drop out like normal. I did try the EPM1 and the EPM2. Both of them worked very well inside the gun. They fed very well. They were secured very well in the gun. They didn't fall out or anything. They were hardly wobbly inside the magwell, so I definitely recommend those. So now that we have gone over the mid-cap magazines and which one is probably best for this gun, let's head over to the chrono and see what kind of numbers this thing's throwing up. So as you can see, the average FPS was around 363, which is very nice. It was staying right within that range, no huge fluctuation as well. And when it came to rounds per second, we got about 16.4, which isn't bad either. And I was using an 11.1 for this gun. So the Masada features a QD point on the stock of the gun and the handguard. And as you guys know, I like to take my sling and go along and put some strain on these QD points to make sure that they can hold. As you can see, the front handguard holds just fine. The stock does not. The stock doesn't even really give any hold. So if I can't trust the back QD point, I'm not going to trust the front. So if I were you, I would just run my sling through the loophole on the bottom of the stock and find a way to run it through the handguard. Alright guys, now it's time to go into my final thoughts and kind of the conclusion of this video on the A&K Masada and the upgrades that it has received and whether it's really worth it or not. So let's hop into that. So being a huge fan of the A&K Masada ACR, we all know this gun was super popular back in the day because of Modern Warfare 2. And in recent years, it's been kind of just left dated. It's been left in the past. Now, should it have been left there? No. Why did it take so long to get the upgrades that it did have or it did get? I don't know. But these upgrades are the reason I bought one. I have been sitting on the edge of buying an A&K Masada for the longest time, but every time I weighed in the options, I thought it doesn't have a MOSFET, so it's not protected with an 11.1. It doesn't have a quick spring change gearbox, so if I'm out at an op and the FPS is too high, I can't do anything about it. And it was these little minor details of why I just kept setting it off to the side, So as we can see throughout this video, the issues that plague the old A&K Masada are still very present in this Masada, with the charging handle being very stubborn, the magazine not really clicking into place, but it does lock into place, and then the ambidextrous select fire switch, which really didn't click into the mode that I was trying to get it into. It kind of just clicked wherever it wanted. And then also the QD sling points, one working, one not working. So now I'm going to go over whether I think the $360 price point is worth it and why not. So just straight off the back, I don't think it's worth $360. Now, hold up. Here's why. We currently have SEMA Platinums, which to me are some of the best gearboxes. People will argue all day that they're not. I have been running the same SEMA Platinum MK18 Mod 1 for the last 5 years, never done any upgrades or anything, and it's lasted me all 5 years. That gun was $340. There is another SEMA Platinum I have my eye on, which is $339, which I know I'm going to probably get the same performance out of. And what I mean by this is the old Masada was dated. And that's why it was having such a hard time selling, is because of how dated it was. There was no MOSFET, quick spring change gearbox, all the things we see in current airsoft guns that are releasing now. Now that it has that, the price does not really make up for it, because we're still getting that A&K gearbox, which still gives us that mid performance. Finally, yes, we do have a MOSFET. We can run an 11.1 safely. And yes, we have a quick spring gear change gearbox, which allows us to change on the fly. But again, I don't think this really sets the price apart from the $289 one to the $360 one. There are options that come with like an M-lock rail or a key mod rail. Sure, maybe those options should be a little more expensive because those rails are custom. Now, again, the old A&K Masada was $289. This one got a modern update, so now it's $360. Maybe I sound a little wrong for saying that, but I'm just saying for the price point of what Masadas have been, it should be maybe not $289 but $310, getting these minor upgrades that were desperately needed over the years. I mean, the A&K Masada, I believe, has been out since like 2013 and has never received an upgrade. Here it is, almost 10 years later, we finally got an upgrade and they're charging way more. Hey, maybe it's inflation. I don't know. But anyways, with that being said, guys, if you guys can wait for this gun to go on sale, I totally would recommend waiting for it to go on sale. So going over the positives of the gun, we finally got a quick spring change gearbox. That was well needed in this gun because we know in 2013 we didn't really have that. It is wired to Deans. Holy crap. I am so happy it's wired to Deans. We are still asking for $400 to $500 guns to come with Dean connectors. VFC, I'm looking right at you. I'm not even going to hide it. And then finally, we have a MOSFET, which we can safely run an 11.1 LiPo in our guns without worrying, or hopefully worrying about frying it. To conclude this video and summarize my final thoughts, guys, my advice is, if you can wait for it to go on sale and be patient, do that. If you guys really got to have the Masada that has all the modern features and you're afraid of it possibly going out of stock, you can pay the $360. That's up to you. I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. I ain't going to tell you what to do. You're going to do what you want to do anyways, right? With that being said, guys, that's why I do these reviews, so you guys can determine for yourself whether it's worth it or not. And with that being said as well, this is my first video of the new year, so I'm hoping we start off with a bang. And I couldn't have done it without all my subscribers, without all you guys who have continuously watched my videos, who have continuously subscribed to my channel. You guys are awesome, and here's to 2024. Let's hope it starts off with a bang. With that being said, guys, call sign Riptide out.